We check in on the West Coast. Got to keep up with what's happening way out there in the Big Ten, which still to me makes no sense. But Brad Keller is there, and how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
In my interviews that I've been doing here in the preseason, a lot of it has to do with the transfer portal, but mostly it's about people coming in and how they're managing it. You got hit hard, and nonetheless bounced back strong. I was super impressed that the coaches picked you six in the Big Ten, and I think you came in at 21 in the first AVCA preseason poll. So you must be doing something right.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, shoot, it's year six. We got to get going in some way, shape, or form. So, I remember you were interviewing us the press conference, and I don't think I gave you a great answer because I hate being number six. I want to be number one. So there's that mentality. I will always double down on that. It's didn't and I didn't know we were 21, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But that's not good enough either. So let's start there with that stuff. But anyways. Um, Yeah, I mean, transfer was tough for us this year. We lost two players I think that are very talented and wasn't a fit and didn't work out. And it's just those are the stories. And then, but we gained one player that a lot of people don't know much about, and she has been really, really impressive. And that's Mia Taverdi from Oregon. She's from Nebraska, middle blocker, and I've not seen someone spring and float like her and have such a fast arm. I'm really impressed with her. And more importantly, I'm impressed with her attitude and how fast she has fit in and how much she's smiling and having a great time. So you win some, you lose some in the transfer portal, right? But at the end of the day, we still have 18 players. I didn't need to go out and get a whole bunch. We did a great job recruiting. And so you double down on what you have. I mean, that's kind of what this is. Hopefully, you as a coach, you recruit and then you lean in on those kids that you invest in. So I'm happy. We're in a good space. We just gotta grow up fast and get going because we're athletic, but we gotta grow up fast.
Yeah, well, you got what I see, six true freshmen and a redshirt freshman, Brooklyn Teeler, who
Yep.
is a highly touted recruit out of Florida, and then you've got a bunch of Californians and a real mix of other people on your roster. I mean, people haven't seen your team and don't know some of these players. I mean, there's a lot of kids on there who can play, but they're not household names.
They're not. Well, the funny part is there's a lot of kids that are names, but they were from small clubs and they decided not to do the USA pipeline. So, for an example, Brooklyn Teeler is been invited to all the USA stuff, but she declined or had family. Like there's things, I mean, there's priorities where that is. Uh, and so now that's not a household name, so people don't know who that person is, right? And like Adanya is now someone that people know, but Adanya used to be a huge recruit, but then she got injured for 2 or 3 years, and so she wasn't involved in those pipelines. So you have we have the athletes, we have the people, it's just not this, I don't know, high profiled individual at this moment in time. And I personally don't care about that, Lee, I guess. I don't care.
You you don't have to have the Hollywood glitz just because you're in LA.
Yeah,
But you
I
mentioned
know.
Donia from
Mm.
Famuina. Did I say it right?
Famolina, yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
The junior outside who had a great year, and she's your lone preseason Big Ten
Yeah.
pick. So that in itself. What I didn't ask you necessarily at Big Ten Media Days was you got picked sixth. Is that fair? Is that a good starting point for your team?
You did ask me that, and I avoided that.
You can't now.
Yeah,
I guess
I
you're
totally
online.
avoided that. I mean, I totally avoided that one. I'm so yes, I think it's fair, but let me expand on that a little bit. You just said we're ranked 21. I have no idea. I have no idea. I didn't even know that that even came out today, just so you know. I just do not care about preseason rankings. I get the hype. I get all these little things. But if you start going down the history of like the teams that were actually they maintain or what have you, and the amount of ups and downs through that is we have no idea. No one knows about anything. I mean, I would say that. I don't even know where Kansas is ranked. Kansas should be ranked pretty high, but people probably don't even know that. Maybe. I mean, there's so much hype on certain teams.
14th. Um,
14, I would say that's a good ranking for them. I mean,
so,
but
so
no
you know,
one knows that
now
they have
I
a 6 foot
yeah.
nine opposite coming in that's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, I
I just
can't
think
now
that,
that I have to run this, this has to post tomorrow since, you referred to it. So Brad and I are recording this on August 6th, the day of the AVCA preseason poll.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry about that, guys.
no, that's all good. And hey, we got to get him out there. No sense,
Yeah.
not a Brad Keller interview. What are you kidding me? But
Yeah.
like we're going to have our 900 square feet media poll, but we're not starting until after the pre-conference season is over because it's a
Yeah.
jumbled mess right now. I mean, when you look at these, the top few teams, it's a lot of it's more reputation than because there were so many transfers and there's so many new players. To your point. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
let's talk about your team a little bit. Tell me a
Sounds
few
good.
players who we haven't talked about who might be impact and
Yeah.
we should know more about.
Yeah. Well, I've got a setter duel in Allie Hazelwood and Reese Messer. I think a lot of people want to talk about Reese Messer and Abigail Mullen, the opposite. They came from Dynasty Volleyball Club. They've been dominant in the club scene, USA Volleyball, very, very good. Allie comes from a coaching tree with Jen, who's at Southern Miss, and so there's a lot of just understanding there. So we have a really good duo of setters right now that can really they just understand how to manage and flow the game and be creative in the right spaces. I love what that is. Abigail Mullen is a shutdown right side. I think Madison Peach is the other one that people don't talk about, or a lefty opposite that is now going to be a senior that has really developed. So we just have some depth in these positions. Leah Ford is a name that people, I mean, she was one of the top blockers in the Big Ten and didn't even get a nomination for preseason, which I don't care, but I thought that was a little shocking. She's pretty dominant in the middle and she's showing some really good signs there. Gala's coming back, Taylor Deckard, Paisley Douglas, and then I've got probably about 5 or 6 outside hitters that we're going to have to figure out between Adanya, London with Jay, who was out last season but had a great freshman year that people keep forgetting about. You've got Brooklyn Teeler, who's the unknown, and then Quinn Loper, a freshman that has walked in here and has completely been lighting it up. And I love the mentality and the physicality that Quinn brings. So we have some interesting decisions coming up here. And I think the team that you see against Denver August 29th or whatever that day is, and then I think we play Michigan or Michigan State the day after Thanksgiving. You're going to see a completely different team, which every coach should talk about, right? Development and what we go, barring injury. But I just think there's so much meat on the bone or growth there or ability for this team because of the athleticism, the eagerness, and the curiosity that this group has. I'm having a lot of fun right now, and I feel old, but I'm feeling pretty young right now, just so you know.
A little bit of both. But you're right about you do open against Denver on August 29th, and you do finish
Yeah.
against regular season against Michigan the day
Yep.
after. Side note, Reese Messer, the setter, is from St. James Academy in
Yeah.
Kansas City on the Overland Park side of Kansas City, Missouri. The previous setter who starred from there was Jenna Gray, who went on to
That's right.
Stanford, is playing pro and has been in the national team gym. And if she follows in that legacy, you wouldn't be so bad.
We would not be so bad. Jenna Gray was pretty good. That's right.
No. Uh, what did you learn last year? You've been through it on. If you don't know Brad, he's been on like every side of volleyball possible: boys club, girls club, men's college, women's college. You know, mostly Pac-12.
COVID.
Huh?
Yeah. COVID.
COVID, yeah, well,
Yeah.
we all did COVID in some form or
Yeah.
fashion, but you had to navigate the Big Ten last year, and that was new and different, and in so many ways. What did you learn, and how? What did you learn, and what will you how you apply that to this year?
So I learned a couple things. Number one was there was so much stress about the possibility of travel, right? That was such a topic for everybody. And it's not that big a deal for us. That's what we learned, number one. Now, listen, we're traveling to different places. We're going to Penn State this year. We're going, I mean, there's different, so we have another year of learning, but travel was not a thing that the world or the volleyball community made it out to be. That was not a thing for us. Number two, I had two coaches in Spencer and Tyler at the time that both coached in the Big Ten. And so there was a lot of cushioning or understanding how things went with the Big Ten, with operation to like any little small details or wrinkles or what have you. And then actually how teams play. And then obviously you watch video and you confirm those things and then we just train. So there wasn't that much shock there as well. The thing that I would say that I'm impressed with the Big Ten was top to bottom, every team was that good. So the bottom team that was struggling was a handful. And that was not the case in the MPSF for boy men's, and that was not the case in the big, or the Big West and the boys side or the men's side, and it was not the case in the Pac-12, and it was not the case. There actually was no nights off, and so you had to really get good at managing mentalities, sleep patterns, physicality, right? Just making sure that the kids were as fresh as possible, but still learning at the optimal level as we went through things. So those are the things that we learned. I think there's more to learn right now. I mean, there's always stuff to learn, but I think there's more to learn as far as we got another cycle here. Let's figure out what that really looks like, and then let's reassess and go from there.
Your schedule's an interesting mix. I mean, you've got
Yes.
it's really varied. I mean, from a couple of West Coast teams to San Diego and Loyola Marymount for one, and for two,
Hmm.
but you also play Creighton. You got BYU, which is
Yep.
that's a great match. You got LSU back to back, which is
Yep.
that must have been a real quirk in the scheduling because you had to figure out. It's hard to schedule, right? And
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and then Penn State, you open at Penn State in the big at Penn State and at Ohio State, and that's get a couple of road matches out of the way right away.
That's right. So going back to it to make it clear for the public, we're a semester school. We start school late August, and so I wanted to make sure all of our matches are usually our one away match is LMU, which is literally 9 miles away from us. So, and there's a lot of reasons for this, but one of the reasons just for the consumer is I wanted to make sure that we scheduled at home to be able to sleep in our own beds and make sure academically they were sound, right? Because you don't want to get stressed out academically at the end of the season. Plus, you're trying to, do what you're doing competitively. So, trying to establish like some good standards and situations for our kids. That was the goal of that. I like our schedule. There's a blend. All those teams can win their conferences or do well in their conferences. So it's high RPI that allows my team that's young to kind of figure things out. There's some major tests in there. I think Santa Barbara, San Diego, Creighton weekend is a ridiculous weekend. Those are all high level teams at this point from what I've learned. And then LSU is on the rise. They got a couple of great transfers. They're going to be pretty incredible as Tanya continues to do some great things down there. I think um, BYU is BYU. I think Heather is just she's her. She's just so good with what they do, and they're always up there. That's a Final Four caliber team, in my opinion, with their firepower. I think so. I think we have a nice blend of to test us and get us going because the first match is frickin' Penn State on the road. I mean, we got to and Happy Valley is not so happy for visitors, and I know that. So I want to make it very happy for us as a visitor.
Yeah, you go on the road one time to LMU. You don't even go to work that day. You live right near
No,
LMU.
no,
You
I'm
don't even
gonna walk up. I'm gonna walk up and join them. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
He is Brad Keller, the USC coach, and it's a delight to catch up. Thanks for doing this, and let's what is it? Fight on.
It's always fun on.
And
That's right.
you know what? And you gave me a really good shirt, and I didn't even think to wear it. It's just because it's summertime and it's warmer. That's why.
I know. I know. I'm waiting for you. One day you're gonna wear this on some podcast, and I'm gonna blow it up in a great way. Just can't wait. It's gonna be
Thanks, sir.
amazing.
All right. See
All right, Lee. Thank you.